Hello, 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 friends and family and friends. Welcome to the latest edition of Grover Takeover. You know how glad I am to be doing this for you, and I'm glad to have you right back there with me watching this. Oh, we had a great week last week. Now, let me tell you something about how the devil got all in my editing software and tried to stop me from doing my show last week. But you know what? One devil monkey don't stop no show, as the saying says. I don't think that's what it says, but that's what my saying says. I'm wearing this mask just because I want to tell everyone to remember to mask up. Yes, things are getting better. We want to keep them progressing and moving in the right direction. So we wear a mask. I shoot my show right here in my house, in our studio room where we shoot all of our videos and where I do all my singing and all that and recording and all that stuff like that. So I don't need to wear a mask inside the house. But I just wanted to wear that kind of as a little bit of a statement. I want to make sure that you remember that I am MT Aunt. You know, I'm MT Aunt Grover. I am the Grover. So welcome right back to Grover Takeover. Remember that I need for you to like. I need for you to comment. I need for you to share. And I need for you to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And also if you're watching on YouTube, click that notification bell right down there so that you can be notified of all available content. Not comment, content. I'm about to comment though on these different topics because we got a lot to cover. So I'm going to jump right into this week's show. And I want to start off with the 2021 Grammy Awards, the 63rd Grammys. This year's Grammy Awards were led by the women. The women were large and in charge. They did not come to play with y'all. I don't know if y'all were asleep out there, but either way, everybody was loving what the women did to get us through the music that they put out to get us through this pandemic that we went through and are still in, you know. But the two biggest awards every single year are Album of the Year and Song of the Year. Taylor Swift took Album of the Year with Folklore. Billie Eilish took away Song of the Year. Two great artists there. But just to give you a rundown, other big winners of the night: Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Her, Megan Thee Stallion. All of these artists, you know, and there were plenty more winners, of course, but I'm just kind of throwing out there and just to let you know, woman, the women took charge this year. It's awesome. It's awesome that that people recognize that, you know, their contributions to music. The Grammys are voted on by people in the industry. They're voted on by people that are registered with the Songwriters Association, with BMI, and if that means that probably doesn't mean anything to a lot of you guys, but for those of us that come from that world, we do the voting for the Grammys. I don't receive a Grammy ballot anymore in the mail. I don't know why, because I'm still registered, but that's neither here nor there. But either way, let me move on and talk about the fact that Queen Bee, Beyonce, whatever Beyonce wants, Beyonce gets. Because Beyonce was the head, she led the nominations this year with 9 nominations, and she took away 4. With these 4 wins, she took away some history-making things. At number 3, the third win, she surpassed Alison Krauss as the female with the most Grammy Awards. At number 2. And then she won 2 more when she won the 4th, which was with Megan Thee Stallion for the Savage remix. She tied for the Entertainer with the most Grammy Awards of all time at 28. So just as soon as she releases another album, she's going to end up taking that, because we all know that every time Beyonce puts anything out, everybody loves it and she wins Grammys for it. Hey, nobody's hating. It is what it is. She's Beyonce. I loved her as the lead singer of Destiny's Child. If she never made another solo album again, I wouldn't care. But what I need is a reunion. Where is Kelly and Michelle? Then I'll be back on the bandwagon. But either way, we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about the Grammys this year. Even little Blue Ivy, her daughter, she took home a Grammy for the song Brown Eyed Girl that she sang with her mom. Nothing wrong with that. She became the second youngest person in the history of the Grammys to win a Grammy Award. Congratulations, Blue. Your mama and daddy joined the Illuminati and gave up their family members and first babies and stuff like that so you could get that Grammy. So congratulations. It's wonderful for you. Hey, great. Yeah. Grammys, great. the Baby, Lil Baby, Harry Styles, all types of people were there. And there's some great fashion moments, you know how they do. Big deal. Grammys, wonderful. Woohoo! Let's move on because we got more important things to talk about. Because I've got to move right along to Kirk Franklin. Kirk, I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. The reason why I'm going to tell you why I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because if you hadn't heard, he cussed the sun out. That's not what I'm sorry about. I'm sorry that your punk behind son, recorded it and then released it trying to ruin and taint your legacy. Because that shows you right there why the man was cursing to begin with. Now let me start at the beginning before I even rant. Because I'm about to rant. I'm about to rant. But before I get to that, Kirk Franklin and his son, Kirk Franklin is 51. Kirk's son is 32. Be clear, this is a grown man. This is not no little boy. This is not no toddler. This is not no teenager. This is a 32-year-old grown man who has been disrespectful to his father time and time again. This boy is mad. Carry On, that's his name, Carry On Franklin. Carry On is mad, y'all. He wants y'all to know it. Kirk had him as a teenager. Kirk started a gospel career as a teenager. Gospel artists do not make the type of money that secular artists do. It just is what it is. Gospel sales are not the same as secular sales because there's far more heathens than there are Christians. Now, Kirk Franklin is very rich now. Kirk Franklin has been in the music industry since he was like 17 years old. His first album came out with him up there leading the people when he was 17, 18 years old. So he's had 30 years in the game, 30 years to accumulate money. He has a wife, he has some young children. The son is jealous and mad because he feels like Kirk has not taken the time to take care of him over the years. He didn't have the same things that his younger siblings have. He didn't get the benefits of this, that, and the other. He didn't have it to give to you back then, stupid. Somebody can't give you something that they don't have. Either way, Kirk put this boy in therapy and counseling back when he was a teenager because he wanted to help him deal with his issues. This man has made choices, and man, be clear that I said this man. This is a 32-year-old grown man who thinks that he can talk crazy to his daddy. Now, please help me to understand and know what father lets their son talk crazy to them. Oh, now they have crucified Kirk. They put nails in his hands and nails in his feet and a crown of thorns on his head and hung him from the cross and carried him up Calvary with the blood dripping down and then walled him up inside of a mountain when he finally went on to be with the Lord. All because his son posted this audio of him cursing at him. The son is disrespectful. And there isn't a son on the planet who's going to be disrespectful to his daddy and not expect to get cursed out. I feel like, this is what I feel. I feel like Terry On did this to set his dad up because he's been at him and at him and at him for so many years. Kirk made it very clear. I know that he did an interview with Tamron Hall and he did an interview with a few other people, but Kirk even said that there are people that are close to their family that know what has been going on, that know the tension and the struggles that they have had as a family over the years. He made his one statement that he did, first of all, he apologized. And my thing, he didn't have nothing to apologize for. You had a disrespectful son. I don't let anybody disrespect me. I don't care who you are. Somebody that disrespects me, you have a better chance of surviving stage 4 of COVID without a respirator than winning an argument with me after you have disrespected me, because I will show out on you. So surely you're not going to sit around and let your own offspring, something that shot out of your scrotum that you have done for and given life to, disrespect you without going off on them. Oh, but because the son released this audio of him cursing him out and telling him he would break his neck and all this other stuff. And then here come the Christians, the church people. I can't even say the Christians, the church people. Kirk felt like he needed to apologize. He didn't have anything to apologize for. One thing he did say, and this is a quote that he said to Tamron Hall, and I do want to read this because this kind of sums it up, but he should have said this and left off the apology part. What he said was, I respect Carry On. I am not Carry On's equal, though. I'm his dad. I can't hear you when you are extremely aggressive when we're communicating. That was his way of cleaning it up. Now, what he said when the boy was being disrespectful to him was, I will break your neck, nigga. I will put my foot in your ass for disrespecting me. Those were all quotes. You know, I try not to curse here on the show. I try not to curse, period, in life, but sometimes it comes out. But either way, all of you church people, because I'm not going to call you Christians, because this thing right here where you want to crucify Kirk Franklin for cursing just because it's on audio, you know good and well you were cursing on the church grounds trying to leave the church because somebody cut you off out of a parking spot when you were on your way out of church before we closed for quarantine. So you cursed on the church grounds because you cursed them out. How many times do they do radio shows? Steve Harvey made the point. Nephew Tommy on Steve Harvey does those pranks, and he does them on church people a lot. They cuss him out, and they cuss him out good. Please stop pretending like because you have found the Lord and that you think you're going on to glory, that you are holier than thou. You know good and doggone well that you used to curse, and most of you still do curse. The problem with church, especially with the black church, is the fact that a lot of you are a bunch of hypocrites. And that's why people don't want to come there. When the girls come there with the short skirts, maybe if Sister Shelley with her 360-pound behind who is just mad because she can't wear a short skirt no more would shut up and leave the girl alone, if she keeps coming, the skirts might get longer. Maybe, just maybe, if when the dude shows up with the gold teeth and the dreadlocks and the t-shirt down to his knees and his pants down there meeting them, if Deacon Philoneus would sit his old behind down because he's mad because he came there with his fine girlfriend and Deacon Philoneus is paying for $40 a pop for vagina and mad because this man is still living his best life, would shut up. Maybe the t-shirt would get shorter and the pants would come up and maybe a suit might ensue, and you never know. And even if it doesn't happen and they dress that way, the Lord says, come as you are. Maybe, just maybe they could receive a word. This kind of nonsense right here is exactly why people don't like to go to church, because y'all are a bunch of hypocrites. Now be clear that I am a church boy. I was raised in the church. I attend the church this day. There's been very few times in my life where I didn't go to church. The thing about it is, I now, as a grown-up, know how to leave young people alone and give them the type of guidance that they need to show them the Lord. I pray almost every night for those who are lost, that they find somebody, but I sure don't judge them for what they do, because I do a whole lot. I used to do a whole lot more. Don't you ever forget who you used to be. Just because the Lord has made you somebody else, is turning you into somebody else, or changing things in your life, does not make you any better than anybody else. Leave Kirk Franklin alone. He didn't have any reason to apologize. And anybody that thinks that he does, you keep on sitting around being a hypocrite. Be clear that the Lord sees you, and when you get to them gates and he turns you around and sends you back because you're really a sinner and you're judging, because it says judge not least be the judge, you're going to be crying. You're going to be crying when that heat hits you, because you're going to be mad. You felt, I lived a good life. I did everything the Lord told me to do. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You were judging people. And you thought you were better than, and you were not doing what he said, because one thing that the Lord and what Jesus never did was judge anybody. I'm going to move on from that, because that took up enough of my time. I've got to talk about the last thing I want to talk about, and that is the Talk TV show is in hiatus. I'm not in hiatus. That's why I do this by myself. If I did it with 4 or 5 other people, we might go into hiatus because they probably wouldn't like. A lot of people don't like the stuff that I say because I spew the truth forth from these lips. And sometimes people can't handle the truth. But either way, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood, who are hosts of the show, kind of got into a thing. But it really was because Sharon started it. She started it because she's up there trying to defend Piers Morgan. Best way to describe him is that he is a celebrity. He's British and he is a entertainment personality. There you go with that. He's somebody. You know, people know who Piers Morgan is. Not everybody, but people do know who he is. Either way, he has a show over there in Britain. He is British. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry came out and talked and said what they had to say. Oh, he jumped all over Meghan Markle. Oh, he jumped, and how dare she say this about about our royals, about our royal family, and our this and our that, and this, that, and the other. All they were trying, and people, Sharon Osbourne jumped to his defense. People who were trying to make her understand and see that jumping to his defense made it seem a little racist because the stuff that he was saying was because of the fact that she's black. Now, I don't care what nobody says. I talked about this on last week's show, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. What I am going to say is this. I said and made a statement in last week's show that a lot of the reason why the royal family acts the way they do towards Meghan Markle is because she's a commoner. She is common. She's a commoner. But the real reason is because she's black. Now, it'll be clear that I grew up with a lot of white friends. The one thing I never let them do was forget that I was black. That's the misconception that a lot of people have about me. I don't care about what people think about me. What I'm saying is, if you are defending their racist comments and you are defending they're ignoring the fact that she had mental health issues because they wouldn't let the girl go out the house. She left the house 2 times in 4 months. 2 times in 4 months. People were going crazy in the quarantine. She's supposed to be quarantined for the rest of her life. Either way, if you're saying that kind of thing, then you're basically accepting what they're doing and saying it's okay for them to be racist towards her and saying it's okay for them to act as if her mental health issues are not a big deal. So Sharon Osbourne, who really didn't have nothing to do with what was going on, jumped to her friend's defense and threw her own self on the sword. Problem. Cheryl Underwood was holding the sword, stood laying there waiting to stab it up in her. But one thing I will say about Cheryl Underwood is that she was gracious, she was courteous, she didn't go off, she didn't act any kind of way. She even said in interviews on the radio and on TV afterwards that she knows the Lord is working on her because of the way she handled it. She handled it amazingly. If you have not seen what happened, go on YouTube or Google or something and just watch it for yourself, because it's hard for me to explain exactly how it went if you didn't see it. All I'm going to say is this. Sharon Osbourne, there ain't nobody called you no racist. You put that on yourself. My thing is for you to even jump on that, then that kind of implies to me that you know that Piers Morgan is racist. And so you want to get yourself out of the line of fire. You didn't. You threw yourself right in it. Now, I said all of that because, like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because that was some pure foolishness. She acted a whole fool over nothing. The show is in hiatus. People not getting no check. All this stuff because you sat up there trying to defend somebody who you knew was wrong. When you know somebody is wrong, I don't care if they're your friend or not, let them be wrong and stay out of it. This is a prime example of how when you know your friends are wrong, let your friends be wrong. Don't jump to your friend's defense or your family's defense when you know that they're wrong, because all you're doing is throwing your own self upon the sword. And I'm about to throw myself upon the couch and kick my legs back because this episode of Grover's Takeover is done. I want to thank each and every last one of you for watching this week. I have to catch my breath after that. It takes more breath for me to sit here and rant than it does for me to sing. Either way, I just want you to make sure that you remember to like, that you remember to comment, you remember to share, you remember to subscribe, and please understand that I love doing these shows for you. I thank you that you watch. I love it that you watch. Everybody that comments, I did not do any shout outs again this week. I'll do them right here at the end just because I'm thinking right about it. Kim Smith, thank you. Last week when I mutilated Giannis, whatever his name is, basketball player's name, she got right on the phone after she watched the episode and made sure she corrected me. I still can't say his last name, so I'm not going to even try. I'm not going to try that. Kim Smith, thank you for watching the show. Red Dragon. Red Dragon is one of my YouTube subscribers and followers. He is a man of God, one of my Caucasian friends. He posts all these great videos, basically trying to help you get closer to God. I want to thank him for always watching and thank him for being right in there and commenting. I want to thank Noah, my co-host. He means to make himself heard, if not seen, because he doesn't like to sit back here. He likes to get in his spot. But either way, make sure that you tune in for the next episode of Grover Takeover. I want to make sure that you know that I want you to have a good day. I want you to have a good night, and I want you to have a good life. Tune in for the next episode of Grover Takeover. I'm going to be right here ready to give it to you. I hope you got out of this episode everything that you came here for today. I love you. You know that I love you. And we'll see you next time on Grover Takeover.